Hello, good morning, everybody. My name is Victor Chen.
And I'm Bruno Mendez with Mendez Wealth Management.
Okay, how's everything going? Okay. Today we're going to start into talking about the real estate. In the since we are into the real estate field, then the real estate law they require us, either agent or customer, they want to have a basic knowledge of the real estate law. So today we're going to starting to discuss about the major point of the real estate law. The total is the seven section. We're going to discuss with the first section today. Today is we're going to discuss with the property ownership and the land use control. In the chapter 1, we're going to discuss with the real property and the personal property. I think the law, they ask everybody have a knowledge, basic knowledge of the whether is real property or personal property, because this is a very important. Because if this is classified as a real property, then the owner will legally own. If not, the real property become a personal property, then the tenant have the right to own it. Okay, the first chapter we're going to discuss with what is the real property, what is the personal property. In the real property, they classify as first part is the land. They call the airspace right and the beneath right.
Perfect. And real property, starting with land. Land includes the soil, rock, and other substances that compose the material of the earth. It also includes space, not just the space on the surface of the earth, but also the space beneath it to the center of the earth and the space above it to the top of the sky.
I think the law tried to give us a concept that the real property not only including the land, but also include cover to up to the air. So they call air right, and also the beneath. Beneath that means the mineral right. The second part is called affixed, and including the building, bridge, and the trees.
And affixed to the land, things that are affixed to the land, these include buildings, bridges, trees, as well as anything that is affixed to them. So this could be doors of a building, permanently installed cabinets, or built-in appliances.
So that means the real property, not only the land, building, tree, and the anything affixed in the land, but also including the up, the airspace right, and the down is the beneath right. The next one is called appurtenant. Appurtenant means that any real estate right, real right, attached or to the land, which is including the easement right, water course right, stock in mutual water right.
And pertinent to land, incidental or pertinent to the land. This form of real property includes anything which is by right used with the land for its benefit. And like Victor said, this can include easement, which is also called rights of way. So easements or rights of way over adjoining lands, and even passages from light, air, or heat from across the land of another. It can also include water courses. Water courses or easements rights of way over adjoining lands, and even passages for light, air, or heat from across the land of another.
So in this paragraph, they have a concept which called, the first one is called easement right. Easement right is very common because when you have in house and in the back of your house, they have the right to get access to the back. So this is called easement right. The second one is called the water course. Water course that if the house have some like a lake around it, the lake around it, do you have the right to use the water? This is called the water right, because that a lot of crops they need water. But if your crops or your farm not close to the water side, you don't have the right to use the water. So this is called the water right. The third one is the stock in mutual water company. This is straight very important because in the lot of hillside, the hillside property, they don't have a they call the water going to the house.
Right.
So the people living here, the people living here, people living here, people living here, they don't have a water. They don't have a water. So they're going to drill the well to form a water tank here. Then they're going to distribute the water to different stuff. So they need to register a water company. Okay, so this is called the water stock in mutual water company. When you sell the house, the stock in this mutual water company is belong to the new owner. You cannot take away. You cannot sell the stock. So this stock is belong to this private water company.
And so it's allotted for residents.
Right, only by the residents. So the test question will ask you which one is transferred when you sell the house.
Right.
Because the water right is automatic go with the new owner. Okay, you cannot take away the water right. Okay, so this is a very important point that the question I will ask you. Okay, the next paragraph will be the definition of immovable.
Immovable is anything that cannot be detached and moved.
So this is a very important standpoint to classify whether this is a real property or personal property. If this can be removed, then it's considered a personal property. If cannot be removed, like a building, like some tree, like some stuff, this cannot remove. So this is considered as a real property. The next is if something is not removed, however, because the duration, that means when you have a right to use the land for a certain period of time, then you will be considered as a real property right. Okay, first is the perpetual life for years and will.
So in modern estate, the duration, section 761 of the California Civil Code, classifies estates and real property with respect to duration as 1, perpetual. Property is used for an indefinite period of time. The second one would be life, an estate and real property for the life of the living person. Third one is 4 years, estate 4 years, or for at will, estate for an indefinite period, tenant at will, entitled to at least 30 days notice to vacate.
Okay, in this section, the law classify the real properties, not only the physical building, road, land, or right, also include the use right. Okay, when you have the right to use the land for longer enough, then they will consider this as a real property. The next classification is called a personal property. The personal property, that means that it can be removable, can be transferable. Okay, in the first part, they have a 4 section. It's called the chattel, lease, trustee, mortgage.
And so for personal property, the first section, chattel real, personal property that is not real property. It includes money, movable goods or chattels, evidences of debt and chooses, which are things in action. Lease, a contract between owner and tenant, setting forth condition upon which tenant may occupy and use the property and the term of the occupancy. Sometimes used as an alternative to purchasing property outright as a method of financing right to occupy and use real property. A trust deed, a security instrument most frequently used in California real estate transactions. And then a mortgage, a security instrument that describes the rights and duties of the lender and borrower.
The license test, they give you a multiple choice. They will ask you which of following is a personal property, which of following is real property. So you need the choice, the right answer for that. Okay, in this, the personal property, this four, one is called a chattel rail. What is the chattel rail? Is because when you bought a house, if you had a loan, you finance from the BOA, and BOA doesn't own the property, but he has a right to protect the mortgage. So this is called the chattel rail. This is a very important term. You needed to memorize. So chattel rail is the right of the bank. So it's considered as a personal property. The next is a lease, trustee, and a mortgage, the same thing. This is the tenant's right. Tenant leases the property. He has a right to occupy, use the property, but he doesn't own the property. So the tenant's right, we call the personal property. The next section is called the fixture. Fixture called the attachment and also trade fixture.
Fixtures are items of personal property which are attached to the land in such a manner as to be considered part of the real property. Attachment. Excessive or additional to the property, such as a fish pond in the backyard or a few nice fruit trees. And trade fixture. A tenant may, during the term of the tenancy, remove from the premises anything that the tenant has affixed thereto for purposes of trade, manufacture, ornament, or domestic use, provided the removal can be accomplished without damage to the premises. This exception does not apply if the thing has, by the manner in which it is affixed, become an integral part of the premises.
Lot of recent, lot of legal argument between the buyer and the seller is because of whether the drapery or chandelier light or the fruit tree is belong to the seller or belong to the buyer, is personal or is real property. If it's real property, they have to stay with the house. If the personal property, they can the seller can take away. Like a drapery, which is like a drapery, okay? Right. It's attached to property. Attached to property, according to the law, whenever it's attached to the property, it's become a real property, then will belong to the seller. When they sell the house, they cannot take away. Okay. However, one argument is called the satellite dishes. Satellite dishes is attached to the house. When you sell the house, if the seller can reserve the right to take away the satellite dishes or not, it's very confusing. Right. So that's why the law will say this attached or not attached as a standard to decide whether it's real property or personal property. Okay. For the trade fixture is very important part, because when you open a restaurant, the restaurant owner lease the space from the shopping center. They open a restaurant. The restaurant has a lot of trade fixture. Okay, like a liquor store, they have a walk-in, the cooler. This is a trade fixture. When this ended, they move out. The tenant has a right to move his trade fixture. The owner cannot attach, cannot hold the trade fixture. So this is a very important point, that when you lease a real property to open your business, whichever go with the trade, with the business, is considered a personal property, even is attached in the building. So this is a very important point. The test will ask you for that. The next part is called the embellishment. Embellishment is called the tenants crops, fruiters industry, constructive civilians under contract of the sales.
So with embellishment, a tenant's crops, industrial growing crops. So tenant's crops. The crops belong to tenants since the land was leased for this particular usage. Fructus industrial. All land where fruits were grown for food industry. Constructive severance. And this will include under contract of sale. A tenant's crops, embellishments, industrial growing crops and things attached to or forming part of the land, which are agreed to be severed before sale or under a contract of sale, shall be treated as goods.
Bruno, you know that Sunkist company?
Yeah.
Sunkist company is the largest orange juice company in the Southern California,
Very
right?
delicious.
Okay, and they have a big factory
Right.
in the riverside, but they don't own. They need a lot of orange. Where's the orange coming from? They have to sign a contract with a different landowner, and so the landowner can grow the orange. Then after grow the orange, they sell the orange, all orange to Sunkist. The Sunkist will make juice, right?
Right.
Okay. In this case, the law will ask you the orange on the fruit on the orange tree is the grow in the land. If this orange is real property or personal property. So this is the question. It's confusing question, but interesting question, right?
Right.
Okay, that will depend. If the landowner grow the orange tree, it's belong to or belong to the landowner. Then will decide is it is the real personal property or real property. So this chapter is very interesting chapter, and we're gonna discuss a lot because a lot of real estate dispute is caused by whether it's a real property or personal property. So that when you have a clear idea about which one is real property, which one is personal property, then you will be away a lot of confusing, a lot of dispute.
So a lot of real life practical use for these two sections for sure.
Yeah. So this at least has a 5 point.
Yeah.
Yeah, five questions. They will ask you very simple. Okay, some like other one is called the beneath mineral right, right?
Right.
Beneath. So this is the land. We build the building, we grow the tree on the top, right? However, if the drone coming to take a picture of your property, then will against your privacy. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So do you have a right to sue the guy to against your privacy?
Yes, if he
Yes.
came without my permission.
Right. Why? Because airspace right is real property right.
Understood. Yeah.
Okay, so you need to understand that because okay, underneath the land, the underground beneath, right? They have some water, very deep, probably 300 feet, 400 feet, 500 feet. They have a river because a lot of rain coming down, so they become a river, right? Underground river. The underground river on the top is water, oil, and gas, natural gas. Okay, so in the river. So this water, oil, and gas, we call the fugitive. So the question will ask you which one the underground flow is what they call.
Right.
You need
To know fugitive.
fugitive. Yeah. So this is memorize these words. Fugitive is very important. It's including water, oil, and gas, natural gas and oil.
Got it. And so if you own the land, you have the rights directly down for that natural gas, water, and oil?
Yes or no, because that is all depend. We're going to talking about it later on. It depend. This is the you own the house, right? You own this house. So legally speaking, you own not only the house and the land, you also own the airspace above the house and also underground under the house, legally speaking.
Right.
However, if you bought a property, which is underground right was reserved by the big oil company. When they're selling the land for the developer to build a house, they already reserved underground right, then you don't have it.
So they can reserve the beneath right in the
Yeah.
sale.
Yeah, so like this is the oil company here.
Right.
Okay, so they can drill like this and go like this to your house.
Got it. So the only reason they can drill horizontally is because it was already agreed with you that they have those rights.
Right,
with the
right,
seller.
right. This is a very important concept and very important law. So they want to test you what is the fugitive right.
Definitely.
Okay, what is the airspace right? Airspace right, fugitive right, and the land. So when you own the house on the land, you have the right on the up and down, and also the land.
Beautiful.
So this is a very important part of the real estate law. They will classify very clearly, do you have the right to do something or not do something?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. You have any other comments for that? For this chapter?
No, that was it. I think you went into detail with the drones and stuff that violate airspace rights, and those are things that people have to consider for sure.
Yeah, protect your privacy.
Definitely.
Yeah, and also that if you're sitting on the oil field, and you have the right or not have the right to drill the oil. That's the already classified by the law.
Right.
Okay, so this is a very important part. Okay, this is the first chapter. Classify as whether it's real property or personal property. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.